From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a severe weather alert.
Well, good evening, everybody. Taylor Plott here again, along with meteorologist Kelly Rawson and Sam Camp. It's 9 o'clock. We're going to do another update here. Good thing is, like I mentioned, what we're still watching is just some transient rotations. It's nothing that's overly significant or concerning, but it's just stuff that we'll just continue to watch over the course of the evening. We are still watching this line of storms. It still has some embedded areas of either a supercell or just a little bit of rotation. This cell right here is a miniature supercell, and one of the things we were actually talking off camera just before getting on with this live here, we're going to be interesting to see how this interacts with the line, because one of the things that can happen, even though it's a small supercell, it still has a rotating updraft. And what could happen is it's going to eventually get absorbed by this line of storms, and there's a chance that the updraft of the line of storms can engulf that rotation, and then itself can start to rotate. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on. The good news is it's not rotating extremely fast. It's a weakly rotating supercell, but still, if it gets absorbed by this line moving through and it has a strong enough updraft, it can kind of stretch that rotation and it can start to spin a little bit faster. So it's something that we'll just have to watch for over the coming minutes. It's about to get absorbed. So again, we'll keep an eye on things. We were watching a supercell that is now in parts of Lincoln County. So this is outside of our viewing area now. It has some rotation on it. It's not overly significant, but it has been watched from the Elkmont area. It moved over Elkton and has now made its way into parts of Lincoln County as well. And Pulaski, I know you had a lot of rain, lightning, hearing some thunder. You're still hearing some thunder. Even with that, there's still nothing going on that's overly severe or overly concerning. The only thing that's really concerning from a non-severe aspect, talking about tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail, is the flash flooding threat, and there's still flash flooding ongoing across these areas. There's been several flooded roadways. I don't think we've had any reports of flooding waters getting up to homes yet, but there are road closures out there, and so we'll have to keep an eye on that. So again, watching this line moving through, it's now moving out of Lauderdale County. It's now moving into Limestone County. This will move through the Coxsey area on the west side of Athens. Again, watching that mini supercell to see how that interacts with the line. And that will continue to move on off to the east. So we're still not out of this yet, but as we get closer and closer to this getting away from us, we're able to clear a lot of places from our severe weather risk. And Kelly Rawson, meteorologist Kelly Rawson, can go through that aspect as well. So Kelly, who's good to go? I know it's 9 o'clock, so people can start heading to bed in some instances. But who can officially say I'm done with the weather threat? I can go on and do something else, Kelly.
So I will get to those specifics here in just a second. I do want to say though, the tornado watch for North Alabama has officially expired. It is 9:03. It expired 3 minutes ago. So there is currently no location in the Tennessee Valley viewing area, our 14 counties that are under a tornado watch. Yes, we are still watching the edge, this final line moving through. We are just making sure that it gets through with no funny business whatsoever, but the tornado watch, all tornado watches for our viewing area have now expired. We'll go ahead and pop up radar on Live Viper Doppler radar, and that is me, and we will go ahead and draw a line based on where the storms are still going on. Again, the tornado threat continues to diminish. Tornado watches no longer in effect. I'll go ahead and draw this line on the back edge of this final line. Finally pushing through. I can now clear all. You know what? I need to back out really quick, go to the whole DMA, and then I'll draw this line once again. There we go. And I'll work from south to north. Tishomingo County, Mississippi. You folks are clear. Franklin County, Alabama. Colbert County, Alabama. Lauderdale County, Alabama. You folks are clear. The threat is over. In Tennessee, Hardin County, Wayne County, all of Lawrence County, all of Lewis County. I can also clear all of Murray County, even though we do still have some lingering rain in the eastern portion of the county over there. You folks are in the clear. We do still have storms, thunder and lightning, heavy rainfall moving through Giles County. Your severe threat is over. We are still seeing that storm throughout much of the county, but your severe threat is over. Marshall County, we're still waiting on that final round of rain and thunder and lightning to move through. Your severe threat is over. We're still watching a few very broad areas of rotation, and as we have been over the last few hours, none of those have produced anything. So again, the tornado watch has expired for North Alabama. We're going to continue to watch just to make sure we get through this. And so there are no surprises whatsoever. But again, the severe threat looks to be over for the area at this time.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly right, Kelly. And again, we're going to continue to track this for the next hour or so before this is completely out of our viewing area. Because as Kelly mentioned, tornado watch is expired, but that doesn't mean that a brief tornado can't happen. It just means that the chances of seeing a decent tornado threat materialize has gone down so much that it's just on a very isolated basis. Basically, it's saying it's not watch-worthy anymore because the chance of getting one is extremely small. So that just means that we'll just have to keep an eye on things. One of the things I'll mention real quick, and then we'll toss things back to your regular scheduled program, and the fact that we don't have a watch now. We'll stop doing cut-ins unless we actually have to go back on for either a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning. But I do want to mention that the winds are getting pretty gusty out ahead of this line, and we're getting a tighter pressure gradient. There's a little bit of a meso low that's developed, and that's why you're seeing places like Decatur. I can actually see, matter of fact, take that links 3 real quick. That's winds, pressure gradient winds that's outside of thunderstorms, south-southeast at 26 miles per hour in Decatur. So things are getting really windy. You see the clouds really racing on our Skycam here looking into downtown Decatur. So what we're getting reports of damage from just those pressure gradient winds. This is from the EMA in Huntsville, Madison County. There's power lines down in downtown Huntsville, 6th Avenue, 8th Avenue, Triana Boulevard, Reynolds and Carter Grove Road. So there is some pretty significant gusty winds that are happening ahead of this last batch of storms. Debris on the road at Governor's Drive and Memorial Parkway. So there's issues going on. Sam, we can go back to regular Viper. I just wanted to show that it was gusting pretty strong there in Decatur. So even though you're rain-free in Athens, in Harvest, in Madison, in Tanner and Decatur, that wind is really starting to ramp up on the backside of this initial rain shield as we get towards that back end of that last line of storms. So you could be seeing gusts on the order of 20, 30, maybe even 40 miles per hour to some extent. And again, so that's outside of any thunderstorms that are moving through. It's just pressure gradient winds that are causing issues out there. Again, we're watching. I want to stress that, we've been lucky here across northern Alabama today. Extremely lucky. I know Fred Gossage, our chief, was talking about earlier that, this was a situation where you have a lit match and there's a can of gasoline that is in front of you. You just flick it over there and it should explode. That was our situation in North Alabama today. We had that volatile of an atmosphere. But then for some reason, that match either just went out before it hit the gasoline. Something happened. We think what happened was the trough just ended up digging a little bit further to the south than the model guidance was showing. And what that does is it shifted all of that big-time severe threat to the south. And so, again, we're really lucky here in North Alabama. Unfortunately, I see Sam's, if you want to pop up Fast Track real quick, unfortunately, areas to the south, they're not doing too good right now. If you have anybody who that lives in the Chilton County area, specifically near Clanton, that's a big-time tornado that's coming right up into Clanton right now. and there was one that was in Shelby County that impacted the Calera area. So just because we didn't have anything up here, we're very thankful for that. They are not so lucky down here in South Alabama and Central Alabama. Tornado warning for Talladega, tornado warning up to towards the Sylacauga area. That tornado going towards Clanton. What's up?
All of those are observed.
All of these are observed tornadoes. So again, I want to point that out, that on the grand scheme of things, this system did produce strong, potentially even violent tornadoes, but we were very fortunate that it was not up here in North Alabama. Unfortunately, the people down in Central and South Alabama and even over there in Mississippi were not so fortunate from this event, and it is still ongoing here in parts of Central Alabama. So if you know anybody down there in Clanton, Sylacauga, Anniston, Oxford, Linville, Alexander City, Wetumpka, down towards Montgomery, Auburn, if you have a student that goes to Auburn University, make sure that they are still staying weather aware, and this stuff is still moving in their direction. So again, that's stuff happening to our south. That's not in our area, but that's a big area of supercell activity that's going on down here, and unfortunately it's producing some significant tornadoes down there in Central Alabama. So we're lucky up here. Unfortunately for them, they're not so lucky. Let's go over to Viper real quick, and I'll kind of close things out for us. Again, we're watching this line. Nothing is significant. Nothing's really twisting. That's telling me, hey, we're about to have a brief tornado touchdown here. I think everything's really starting to line out. By this point, the winds should start to shift a little bit more to the southwest as you get towards that edge of the line. That mesolow actually might be backing things out, so it actually might be feeding more southeasterly into those storms. But still, there's just not a lot of instability to work with. And so you're just getting some noisy storms moving on through, creating flooding. Again, flooding is the biggest issue right now. Flash flood warning still continues for Lauderdale, Colbert, and Franklin counties. There's flooded roadways going on in the city of Florence and Muscle Shoals, also in the city of Loretto and the town of Leoma, and also here in the city of Lawrenceburg. I imagine there's flooding still going on in Pulaski and areas to the north, Columbia, Murray County, over towards Hohenwald, probably seeing some flooded roadways there as well. It's 9:12. Stay inside, watch a TV show. March Madness is on. There's basketball games out there to watch if you're a sports fan. I imagine you're probably watching those anyway. But the weather threat is going down very rapidly. So once you're past this line to the west, like Kelly talked about, you're good to go for the night. So just, stay inside, watch TV, watch a movie, hang out with your family and friends. Don't venture out on the roadways if you don't have to, because, it is nighttime, and it's really bad to see flooded roadways in nighttime. It's hard to see flooded roadways, even during the day sometimes too, because you just can't gauge how deep that water is. So again, nothing significant other than flooding going on, and we're still watching this for the next few minutes or so, maybe 30 minutes, and then we'll be good to go. And the fact that we don't have an active tornado watch here at the Tennessee Valley Weather Center, that means that we're going to stop doing our cut-ins. We'll only cut in if we need to for a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning. So we're still here. We're still watching things, but that will end our live coverage here tonight. Kelly, do you have anything else on your end? Sam, anything else on your end?
I'll just go ahead and say really quick, there are a couple people asking questions about the wind in eastern Limestone County, even into parts of Lincoln and Madison County and Morgan County. Right now, that's not tornadic. I don't even think it's even severe threshold. We've been getting wind gusts between 45 to 55 miles an hour. Yes, that's very strong wind. That's associated with what we call a wake low of some sort. And again, that's not necessarily associated with the storms directly. It's just some strong winds. You will still experience those. Those will diminish as this whole system continues to move eastward. So yeah, it may be windy for you folks in eastern Limestone County, as well as Morgan County and into portions, again, not in our viewing area, but Madison County and Lincoln County. But that threat will continue to diminish as the storm system continues to clear out.
And it can still cause some damage. And
certainly.
as we've seen, and again, a lot of the damage so far is being reported in Madison County, but that doesn't mean that you're getting issues here on the east side of Athens or on the north side of Decatur or over here near Tanner or up towards Ardmore. It's gusty out there. So again, that's part of that wake low, a little bit of a mesolow that's formed. So once this line passes, that should diminish that threat. So you're only looking at a small window here, at least in our viewing area, where you're getting this pretty gusty wind that, again, is not related to the thunderstorms out there. All right, that'll do it for us here for our coverage here tonight at the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. For Chief Meteorologist Fred Gossage and Meteorologist Chase Wilson, they were here earlier. They're now gone home and they're getting some really good rest. For Meteorologist Kelly Rawson and myself, Meteorologist Taylor Plott, also Sam Camp over there producing and keeping an eye on things on the radar. Thank you so much for trusting us here at the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. We're very thankful. We did not get the violent tornadoes that we had across our area, but we unfortunately seem like we did have at least a few tornadoes in our area. The Weather Service will go out and survey those to see exactly where they went and what type of rating they are. And again, keep thoughts and prayers to people down to our south because they're really dealing with the tough situation right now south of Birmingham. All right, that's it for our coverage tonight. Again, thank you for tuning in to the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. We're still watching things, and we'll keep you advised.